On to the next matter. Got a few more today, so let's get going. Let's start with solidarity. Now, solidarity is the unification of people in a common cause. For example, let's say you want a bunch of people to work together to make a shirt or cut something. Well, solidarity is getting them all to agree that this is worth doing, and basically doing so without necessarily constantly having to prompt them. It's people agreeing that, yes, this is something we want to do or contribute to. Now, commonly, yes, you will see this in Marxist rhetoric, but that is because they are collectivists who aim to have collective ownership. Naturally speaking, that leads to a belief of constant solidarity. But you don't necessarily have to be a Marxist to believe that solidarity is a good thing. Exhibit A, me. See, solidarity is often needed in order to achieve larger goals in short periods. Say the Empire State Building is going to be reconstructed. Someone wants to build a replica. Maybe they just think it looks neat, or for whatever reason they just decide, yes, let's build another one. Well, if you want to build such a large project in a short period of time, let's say a year or two, you're gonna need everyone working on it to think, this is something I want to do. This is something I want to contribute to. And that's exactly what the original Empire State Building had. A sense of solidarity among the workers, among the planners, and to a lesser extent, though definitely still there, among the management. Why? Because everyone thought this was something that, benefited them. The workers got paid, the people managing everything were getting the jobs done, and of course, those in between, the specialists who drew up the plans and who continued to oversee things and make sure everything functioned, got their own interests settled. Everyone saw this was beneficial, admittedly, mostly because they were getting paid for it, but still. They did work together and they did achieve a large goal in, let's face it, a relatively short period. It used to take hundreds of years just to build things as big as the Empire State Building. Massive cathedrals as an example. Look how long it took to build Cologne Cathedral. It took a lot of people over a long time. Even ignoring the pauses that people took in order to build them, there was a very real time that it took to build them. Empire State Building was in, I believe, a year or two built. It was truly built in a very quick period of time, and it's still a sturdy structure, at least now. But in order to create these things, as stated, the people involved need motivation to cooperate. Unions can achieve this to a lesser extent, but really, it doesn't matter by what means. Motivation is just most effective by giving people a purpose in their work outside of pay. It doesn't have to be a union. Indeed, a union could actually be kind of productive if they start focusing too much on material benefits and not thinking about common cause. Indeed, that can often kill both the business and the union, since if you get too focused on the paycheck, well, businesses still have a margin, so either prices are going to increase and people are going to buy less, or what's going to end up happening is they're going to have to lay people off because if they can't afford you or they're not making enough margins, they're going to cut the lowest common denominator. That's how corporations or really any business works. You may argue it's unfair, but it is how it is. And so, you need voluntary action to get people to work together. You need them to have a reason. They could like each other. Maybe they just think, hey, I'm proving my stuff, showing that I can do things. Maybe they're looking for another job and want to show that they can get hard work and get results. Provide hard work and get results. Whatever it is, and I do apologize for my constant slip-ups, but whatever it is that their goal is, it's getting everyone on the same page. They don't necessarily need to have the same motivations, but at least acknowledge each other's motivations and work together to achieve the goal. Pay is great for just getting people in the door. But when you get paid through a number of jobs in a number of different places, it's not going to be the pay that decides how hard someone works. What's going to decide how hard someone works is their reasoning outside of it, their motivation. For example, I'll use a personal one for the next reason. See, my father is a veteran, and he now currently works at the Veterans Affairs. In the VA. Not at the Veterans Affairs, they don't have just one building. But he works with the VA. And he works hard in that job because, well, he wants the veterans to get care. He has a motivation outside of his pay. Pay is nice. Helps keep the house functioning, helps make sure I get food, helps just generally take care of things. Pay is great. But let's face it, you don't put up with the VA just for pay. You do it because you believe it's a good thing. Let's face it. If veterans weren't involved, I doubt my dad would work there unless it had really good benefits and he believed it was necessary to help me or help my brother. That's just kind of how it is. He has a motivation outside of his pay. He wants to help veterans similar to him. He just wants to help them, especially given the service to his country. And it helps. It's when you get the people who just are in there for the paycheck and don't really care about what they're doing, they get the lazy bums, those who don't do as they're supposed to, especially in large groups. Or governments. I'm mostly thinking of governments here because of the VA example. Now, culture is one way to do so. If you just have everyone of roughly similar cultures, well, there's going to be a natural sense of similarity. And so, you want to show that your culture's doing alright. You want to basically prove that you're a good member of it. And so, you're more likely to work hard. Cultural uniformity can absolutely help. But another way is to convince people that their work contributes to a greater whole. Again, using the VA example. Helping veterans is a greater goal than just, pushing papers or checking someone in. It's something greater than that, and something important to the person I was discussing. Now, the greater whole needs to be relevant to the person in particular. That's a fact. The greater whole could theoretically be the worker utopia in a socialist framework, but that's not going to appeal to a hyper-capitalist. Good luck with that. So you need a whole that is relevant to everyone that you're working with. And you need to organize in such a way. And for those who wish to find a place to work, or wish to find some place that has the ability to create solidarity, ask yourself, what is the goal? What do I want? Do these two things align? If they do, then that is a good place to potentially work, assuming the pay is good and satisfies your physiological needs, or at the very least your ability to acquire them. If you can sustain yourself, alright, great. Then you can make friends, satisfy that, and then you can make sure you have a purpose, and work your way up. Excuse me. See, solidarity is important because, fundamentally, in a society as large as ours, with so many people, what you need is a reason for all those people to work together. In a small enough group, you're not going to need to worry about this as much because everyone's looking at each other, watching each other. And so there's a natural peer pressure to not be a complete and utter moron. But in a large enough group, especially companies with HR departments and unions, there's much less of an incentive because you can just say, yeah, I'm sure they won't pay attention. Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't matter. I can rest a bit, not do as much work, and still get paid the same. But you don't want that. See, if people are doing that, then efficiency goes down. Efficiency goes down, less is produced. Let's use an example that affects everyone. Let's say, for example, there's a clothing factory, and less shirts are produced. Well, suddenly the supply of shirts goes down. If this happens to enough businesses, enough factories, guess what? Shirt prices go up. And they go up, and they go up. And now you're stuck buying shirts out of the laundry bin or some other place that has them because you don't have the ability to buy a shirt normally. Food, too, is the same. If food production goes down, so too does your ability to afford more food. And food is important. It's kind of how we live. So having that sense of solidarity, of people actually working together to contribute to something greater, is important. You don't have to go full socialist workers of the world unite to acknowledge that. You just have to agree that people often need something outside of themselves. Something to motivate them outside of just, okay, what do I want currently? In order to achieve good results. Working together is beneficial. Convincing people that it is worthwhile to do so constantly, and to unify them in a common cause that benefits everyone, well, that's just the best course of action. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.